you know what? There's always rumours going around that there is a playing budget, and I know firsthand that there's not.
If you've got a budget, you can bring the players in, and you can be successful like that. The alternative is the Brocton.
I think it's true, which is the first thing. Everybody says that we don't pay nobody here, and they do. So I think it's true, and I think it's amazing.
We are very different to most clubs. In 2006, when we moved down Silkmoor Lane, it was necessary for many reasons for us to incorporate, have a limited company, limited by guarantee, not for profit.
And currently we're probably approaching in excess of £900,000 that we've had in grants. I think things will have to change, our outlook on what funds we can get into the playing strength, into the playing budget. But we are a cask club, which is a community amateur sports club, and there are quite extensive rules. We are looking already at how we can work with cask in the club, and how we might have to do other things to, one, generate the money, and two, whether we can actually pay that out.
I don't see us being able to change our ethos considerably when it comes to budgets, as managers always call it, because we are a community amateur sports club. That brings with it the benefits of helping us to get grants, as we have, and things such as business rates are waived and so on. However, it comes with restrictions, and this is public knowledge that a community amateur sports club can only pay £10,000 a year in wages. We have always taken the view that that £10,000, if we have it, is better put into the development and the running of the club than paying the players, because over a season with the number of players and so on, it is a paltry amount. It breaks down into virtually nothing per player, and it's almost an insult, really.
We want Jude and Willie picking up the two wide centre halves, okay? So that means Jake and Simo, you've got to pick them two up, all right? We're in a good position here to be something massive for the club, all right? This would be a massive achievement for this football club to achieve the playoffs at step 5. It'll be the best achievement the club has ever had by some distance, all right? There ain't many teams in the league that are still playing for something at this point in the season, and it's a credit to you that we still are, all right? So go out there, give it everything you've got, and let's make sure we come back in here with 3 points, fellas. 3 points is a clean sheet. What a feeling. Come on, let's do it.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm the Brocton first team manager. I have been for 3.5 years now. I knew the club previously because I came here on loan as a player, and I really enjoyed my time here. I really enjoyed the people that were here, and just decided to give it a go, and I was asked a couple of times to do it. I didn't really want to be a manager at the time, but Matt Skinner had asked me a couple of times whether I wanted to do it or not, and he got me on a good day when I hadn't played for Chasetown, and I had been a bit in and out of the team, and I just said that I'd have a conversation with some of the people I knew. It just so happened that it was the right fit at the time. It could have been something that was over very quickly because we didn't know how well it was going to go, but thankfully I think we've created something pretty unique.
It's particularly impressive because it's Alex's first managerial post.
His success is, as far as Brockton's concerned, he's up there with those people who've been successful in the past.
I think being consistent is probably one of the biggest things that we've been successful with, and that's consistent with the way that we demand standards both in training and on the pitch. I think the lads very much know what they need to do and what's expected of them, and I think because of that we're successful because the lads have to adhere to it. Otherwise, they know that they won't play or they won't be a part of it. I think consistency in terms of the team is really important. We haven't got a high squad turnover. I think at first there was a lot of in and out when I first came, and that's because there was a lot of people that were here that probably weren't good enough to play. And I just think the general togetherness of the group is just the best I've ever seen in the league. I'm very glad I decided to do it because the lads here are brilliant, and we've got such a great ethos and team kind of group and how we are together. And I would just say that without that we would certainly not be as successful as we have been. So I think that's absolutely crucial.
He's young, but he does have an air of authority. He's got a very good rapport with the players he's got. They do play for Alex as well as the club.
I do think I'm quite natural in terms of being a leader, and like I'm a teacher obviously, which means that I do these things where I speak to people every day, and actually, to be quite frank, speaking to the lads in here and speaking to kind of a small group is a lot easier than it is speaking to a group of 30 children or even more than that. So I do think I've got some qualities naturally that come to me that help me.
Boys, yeah, come on. Come on, boys, smash it on it. Come on, Ryan, come on, Jim.
Oh, left foot. Penalty, yes. Follow it in. Number 7, Will Wilder.
In terms of the club, I think what they've done for me, they've kind of just let me off free rein really, which is what I would have wanted, because I wouldn't have wanted kind of a committee or anything that would have got too much involved in any of the football side of things. Obviously, without having a playing budget, there's little for them to get involved with, and they haven't. And they said that to me early, that they would just leave the football to me. Won the league last year. I didn't bring anyone in, but that wasn't through want to try him. I approached quite a few players to see if they wanted to come through, lads who I knew were playing at this level, who had played at levels higher, and all of them were keen on coming, but then couldn't commit to it because of the lack of budget that we have, which is frustrating, but I know that it's a constraint that we're working with. I mean, we've got the likes of teams like Stafford Town down the road who are at the level below us, who are paying a hell of a lot of money, and I won't have anybody say that any different. And it's like we're competing with teams a level, maybe 2 levels below, who have got a lot more money than we have. So everybody absolutely loves it when they come in, but getting them through the door in that first instance, you've got people these days who are kind of relying on the money that they're getting, because money's so lucrative. I think at this level, people are relying on it for one reason or another, whether it's pay for the car or petrol or whatever it is.
The crazy thing with non-league and some of the players is that you could sign a player for £20-30 and they'd come to you over someone else. And £20-30 to someone can be 200 quid in their eyes.
Some people can't afford to not have that money, and thankfully our lads that we've got here are willing to not have it. And I've no doubt in my mind that literally every single player that we've got could go and get paid somewhere, and some of them get paid very well. So we're thankful that the ones who are here decide to be here and will not be paid.
It's the dream of anybody who's involved at the local football club to know that you've got people who are playing for you, and it's not about money.
No one ever believes it, and I don't really know what we get out of lying about not being paid. It's like, we don't get paid. It is what it is. And if we're being honest, everyone at this level, there's too much money in non-league anyway. People shouldn't be getting paid the amount of money that they are, because compared to we're all crap really, aren't we?
Just play a little rondo. As soon as he wins it, it's done. You've gone. Yeah, as soon as somebody touches, he touches it, you're off. You're in there. Oh, Kyle, love it, Sean. Come on.
I think one of the main things they've achieved is actually linking in and establishing, in some instances, a youth team structure.
It's something I'm actually really proud of, actually, that we can use so many youth players, and they're still young players who are earning their kind of craft and their learning. And we've had some really good youth players who've gone on to play at other clubs since I've been here. We've also got ones like Charlie, who still plays regularly in the first team, Cooper and Jude, who've had lots of minutes this year, and we've had other players like Jack Bostock go on and kick on and go and play elsewhere and things like that. And I think it's over 20 to 25 players that since I've been a manager of the club have played in the first team.
It probably half hasn't got a choice because you can't just bring lads in, and Alex has probably had to turn to youth because he hasn't got that playing the budget side for playing. So, but even so, if you did have a budget, me knowing Alex personally, I know we would turn to youth anyway, and he's got that mindset of if they are good enough, it doesn't matter what age they are.
Go on. Brilliant, Jay. Oh, brilliant. Oh, great football, boys. Come on, Judy, mate.
He's gonna love the keeper.
I can't stress how much I think we've overachieved this year, just because of the lack of playing budget. I don't think the players are. I think the players are more than good enough to play at this level, and there's lads who've played at higher levels. We more fall down when, and the kind of competing aspect of it, we struggle because when we get 2, 3, 4 injuries, that's where it's really telling and it's really difficult for us, because we have had spells this year where we've had sort of 3, 4, 5 young lads on the bench or even starting. And when you've got one young lad starting or 2 young lads starting, you can cope with that. But when it turns into 3, 4 and starting, and then you've also got 3 or 4 of them on the bench, it's very, very difficult.
Like I said, I do think that us having a smaller squad, when we have injuries, it massively affects us.
For example, us and Lichfield, we're in a similar position, but I don't think we were too far behind, and we were sort of 4 or 5 points behind at one point in the league. They then had a couple of injuries, and they brought 4 players in, and the 4 players they brought in meant that they didn't become weaker as a team, and they kicked on and they went and won the league. I'm not saying that would happen to us, but ultimately we can't do that. It's for a club with no budget. It's absolutely vital for us to have that kind of pool of players to pick from, and we need them, and we will continue to use that, because without the youth system at the club, I don't think the club would continue to function, if I'm being truthful.
If you're not paying players, then it's a lot harder to get lads, good lads, to sit on the bench or not make a squad if they're not getting paid. We've got a small squad, and I think that's probably why we've not been as consistent over the year.
Okay, do not give them a sniff. Do not give them half a chance to even build a little bit of confidence.
You should go out and enjoy it, fellas, all right? We haven't had a time where we've got ourselves into a winning position and we've got a lot of confidence within ourselves where we can go and kick on again second half. Normally, we're fighting to get into the game, we're battling to make sure that we're trying to get 3 points. You're a lot better side than them boys. These are a poor side. Honestly, Jude in behind him here, every single time is on. Even from you, Tone, balls in here, every single time it's on there, causing them problems all the time. I think they go out there and then the ball into Reg is on 1v1 all the time. Got to go and be absolutely relentless for the second half. Has to be relentless. It doesn't just mean we go out and we get one quickly and we stop. absolutely no chance. Lichfield scored 8 against these last week, all right? We don't stop the whole game, all right? The whole game. We never know, boys. A few goal difference here and there could actually be important. We don't know that, all right? Maybe it might get us 4th, something like that. So we've got to go and give it everything that we've got, fellas, second half. We've got to come back in here with more goals.
I think the lads are all very good mates. When I speak to some people about them previously and offers they've got, they've talked about they'd be feeling like they've missed out if they go somewhere else because they just want to be with the lads, and they are truly just a group of mates. I think there'll be 16 of them who go together to Portugal in a few weeks, and then there'll be another sort of 20 of them who go to Dublin in about a month after that, and that's just because that's what they play for all season. They play for the fact that they can put money in the fines pot all year, and they pay into it themselves, and then they use it to go away on holiday.
Because we all just love being here so much and being with each other. If someone said to me, "Oh, we'll pay you X amount," but then I weren't going to Portugal in 2 weeks with the lads for a week, and I was having to give that up going with all my friends, for getting money each week to play football, but I'm not enjoying it on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday as much as I do here. But for me, it's not worth it, and I understand that. Like some lads, the money is like a bonus, or it might pay the mortgage, and that's, I get it, but at the same time, I suppose they've probably not been in the environment here, and I think anyone you'd speak to, it's hard to give up. I'd rather do it with my friends than just get paid, yeah, if I'm honest.
People come here and they see what it is, and they see how honest the management are with them, and they see how good a group of mates everybody is, and people just want to fit into that, and the lads are a really welcoming group, and that's why I don't think it turns over as much, and it probably helps that we're being successful too, because if we weren't being successful and we weren't winning and we weren't continuing to do well, I don't think that people would want to stick around as much, but thankfully at the moment we are.
Lino, you're right there, mate.
Have you got videos giving you a program?
Follow it in.
Yes! Oh! Such a good point save as well.
Go on, Reg.
Oh, no!
Come on, Reg. Right, Reg. No foul. Hey, referee! Referee! It's outside the
Oh, yeah!
Will begin the final score guarantee. Finish with 30 Lichfield.
Boys, what an incredible achievement it is. We set out the goals obviously early on in the season that we wanted to get in the playoffs, boys. You've met those goals. Well done to every single one of you, boys. It really is an incredible achievement for a club of this size, boys. So round of applause for you guys. It's only half the job, isn't it? There's no point in getting in there unless we fucking want to go and win it, is it? So we've got obviously next week is really important that we go and win, keep that momentum going, and then we've got to go and give it our all in those 2 games, fellas. You put yourself in an unbelievable position, but there's no point in being there unless we're going to go and do it. So let's fucking go and do it, boys. Well done to you. Fantastic. What about you? Jude, well done, mate. Anything about it? Anything else?
Do you know what, Jake? He fucking deserves it, 'cause he's been fucking unbelievable.
Jake, well done, mate. Yeah. Well done, lads. Show up.
Kenny, you're okay.
Yeah, Ken. Average.
I think with if the current group of players stay here and I stay here, I think the club could continue to be a Step 5 team for a long time. And if it stays together, which I hope it does, then it will continue to improve, I think, and it will give us a chance of gaining promotion at some stage. If we lose 1 or 2 players, I think that it could potentially, without being able to get somebody else in or other players in, it could decline. I've said it to Nigel already. I do think we're on a bit of a knife edge at the moment, and that's because if we can keep the players together and we keep the group together, then brilliant. But as I've said a couple of times, like, we had a run of kind of 10 to 12 games where we won in a row, and we got injuries, and then we didn't, and then we were win, lose, win, lose, and actually that just shows where we are, because we can't bring anybody in, and if we lose players, then we're not going to be as good as we are. Now, I'm not naive enough to know that there's not people who are wanting to sign our players, because we've got some good players, and if I was a manager in another club, I'd be looking at Brocton and thinking nobody there gets paid. Well, I'll have a few of them. In terms of could we compete at the next level with no budget? Absolutely not. Some of the budgets that are on offer at that level above sort of 5-6 grand a week, some of them even more than that. Teams like Hensford who are really going for it. We cannot compete at that level. There is no doubt in my mind that with the current system and squad and the way that the club's run, if we were promoted Step 4, we would get relegated immediately. And I have said that to the committee, and I truly believe that.
Step 4, it's a big financial step, and something that we probably haven't envisaged that we'd be getting close to that as we have this year. So we are looking how that might sort of impact on the club. We may not do it this year, but we can then now start to look at how we could structure the club to be sustainable at that level above.
Step 4, it's another kick on again, and like I say, I did play not loads, but I saw the level when I was at Chasetown, and it's a big jump, and that would be very, very tough to probably not pay and bring in the experience that you would need to compete at that level. It would be tough, and it was a jump from Step 6 to Step 5, but like I say, I think it's one of the biggest in non-league, 5 to 4. I just think it's huge, so it would have been tough.
I don't think it's sustainable. Long term, I think it's a tough gig, and Alex has put numbers on the gates, and eventually he's got to be rewarded, I would think, as a management team to enhance himself the best he can. Otherwise, your best product at Brocton is him. If anybody thinks he's not the most important person at Brocton, then they're off the tree.
Yeah, I think he needs to start paying players. I do. Every team in Step 5 is paying very good money. I think the lowest budget I think I've heard at this level is just short of £1,000, so a week, and we're not even close to that. So no, it's not sustainable, and that's why I say that at the moment, if any of the players leave, that's what worries me, because if the players leave, or even if I left, I think, and I went and got another job somewhere else, I think all the players would leave, and I think the club would then be facing potentially back-to-back relegations.
We are acquainting ourselves with the various models and different structures. However, community amateur sports status is something for life. As I said earlier, it's a bit of a politician's answer. We will help the players in all ways we legally can to enjoy their time here. We will, in other ways, we will make sure that they are valued, and that might just boil down to the interaction with people, you know, congratulating, talking, and so on.
Brocton, one of the best places you can go to in non-league football where you're welcomed. They are, the folk at Brocton, I've always said, are brilliant. They're proper non-league, proper welcoming people. Never have a problem there. You know, you're treated with respect and they look after you. And that's what I always love about going to Brocton. I love playing at Brocton.
I think it's just got that family feel to it. I think growing up from like 16 till I was probably 27, 28 there, it's gone through like highs and lows in my personal life, and the club always supported me through those. So I've sort of grew up with that club, which is probably why it holds a special place in my heart.
We're all here because we want to be here, and whether it be on a Saturday when we see the committee, we're in the bar. We're not just here to pick up an envelope and leave. We'll be here till they kick us out, and we're having conversations with them, and we have respect again. I hate to keep going back to the fact that we don't get paid, but you appreciate more that we're volunteers as well, and you appreciate volunteers more when you are on yourself, and they put an awful lot of time into it, and I think at times just having conversations with them, and I think it's just nice. They probably appreciate it, because there's probably been teams over the years that don't interact with them and they just come play football and off they go. So I think it's just a really good environment here, and everyone gets on, and there's some good people from the committee through to the management through to the players, and everyone just loves being here. So I think it's just a good environment.
Disappointed in the moment because obviously we've lost. I still see this season as hugely positive. Like to have achieved what we have is excellent, and I am really proud of that, and I'm proud of the players and what we've created here. It's a weird one really, because when you lose in the playoff semi-final, it's not that last game, is it? It's not the playoff final. So I still felt like obviously we'd still have another big hurdle to overcome, even if we'd have won it next week. But with it being Norwich, I think we would have had a good chance of beating them. Obviously, we beat them away, didn't we, previously? Overall, the overriding emotions is positive, and look, we gave them a very good game, and it was little fine moments that kind of contributed to us not winning. So, yeah, I think overall it is a positive emotion now.
None of us know what next year would hold for us if we got into step 4. But what's the worst that can happen? You know, we come back down to step 5. You know, it's not. I think we can afford to be relaxed about it, in the sense that we're not so driven that we become obsessed.
we've had success, and I think we will have success in the future.
And they're making history doing that for the club without a budget, and that should be, we should be shouting from the rooftops about that.
Credit to them, credit to the lads, credit to the committee, the manager. They've got a great group, and I know they'll stick together. That's the type of lads that they are. They're still at a good age, I think, the majority of them. So yeah, I can see them pushing again this year, and I fully expect them to see them, if not winning, them definitely be in the playoffs again.
Anybody who comes here is welcomed, and anybody who comes here is treated amazingly well. And I think if you're part of this and you're part of the club, you're made to feel extremely special. And I don't take that for granted, because I think the committee do an amazing job. And there's some people here who are some of the best people I've met in my life, because they're so welcoming and they're so kind and thoughtful, and they'll do anything they can for you. The fan base has grown over the time that I've been here. I think the average was sort of 50-60 fans a week when I took over, and we're up to sort of like 150, 160 I think is the average gate this season. It might even be higher than that, to be honest. People come here, they see good football, they get treated really well, and I think the club off the pitch has grown since we've been here as well, and little measures have been taken to make things improve, and I think this is a truly special club, and the whole ethos and the way that it's run is fantastic, and that comes from the likes of Nigel, Brian, Terry, Barbara, Brian, all the other people that are involved in it. And if I went through every single one, then there's a lot of people, and they should take massive credit for that and massive pride, because they really are the backbone of the club, and they run it so well.